It's the Eagle Community Television Forum with your host, Gary Shorman.
Welcome to the Forum. I'm Mike Kerner in for Gary Shorman this week. The Forum brought to you by Hayes Med. Our guest this week, Connie Cooley, a local author. We're going to talk to her a little bit about her book and get to know her a little bit in today's show. Connie, thanks for coming to the show and being on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
You know, a lot of people probably know you. You've been around Hayes for a couple of years, haven't you?
Since about 1980.
1980. Mm-hmm. A lot of people probably, I guess we'll get into that, what I was going to go to here in a second. Starting out, you came to Hayes in 1980 and you've been here since. What have you been doing with your life?
Well, my husband and I played in a band called the Home Cooking Band for all of these years up until about 2016.
Till 2016,
mm-hmm.
And then you guys have kind of put it aside for now.
Yeah.
Well, what we wanted to talk to you a bit about today, as I mentioned in the open, you are an author.
Yes.
So writing a book and stuff like that. How did was being an author something that you've always dreamed of doing?
You know, not really. I knew that I had a writing ability since grade school, but my writing talents were always geared towards songwriting and poetry. I never really thought about a novel until in the early 2010 or so.
2010. And did it come to you, the storyline, did it come to you right away, or did you have to work around it a little bit until it evolved?
You know, I really didn't go into it with any particular plot in mind. I had noticed a lot of abuse and trauma that was going on in some young friends' lives, and it reminded me of my own personal healing journey, and I just kind of wanted to write something that might be helpful for people. And as I started writing, it just basically began to write itself, and it turned into a novel.
Wow. So how long did it take you?
It took me 2.5 years to write it and another 2.5 to edit it, which I did myself with the help of my sister. And then, of course, about 9 months out for cancer treatment thrown in there. It came to about 5.5 year period.
Wow, so that's a long time for it to come to life.
Yeah.
And then did you get a publisher? Did you have to work around and talk to different publishers? Or was that the hard part?
I hooked up right away with something called Westbow Press, which I had become aware of when I was managing the Good Bookstore downtown. They are associated with both Zondervan and Thomas Nelson Publishing, and they call it a self-publishing division of those two. So I hooked up with them, and they gave me complete control over what the cover style would look like, and everything about the editing and all of it is within my control.
Did you ever reach out to some other authors? You said you worked at the bookstore downtown Hayes. Did you reach out to some other authors too and ask them for advice or how they went about it?
Actually, yes, I did. I was very privileged to attend a book show down in Orlando, Florida at one point, and I met Karen Kingsbury, who is considered the queen of Christian writing. And she's called the life-changing fiction author, and she was very helpful to me. I got my picture taken with her, and she was very encouraging, so yeah.
Was she somebody that you've talked through your process?
No, not that.
Just to get started?
Yes.
Get started. And so you wrote your book. Did you do it the old-fashioned way, just write it all out, do an old typewriter or just a word processor?
You know, I started in a spiral notebook, and then we bought a computer in 2012, and I went to that and used Word for the rest of it.
And then you kind of did your spell check and worked your way through it and went back through it a couple of times. So you know the story pretty well.
I know it very well, and believe me, I had a college education going on during the whole time.
I bet so. Well, I tell you what, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back. Second half of the show, I think we're going to talk to you a little bit about your journey, and also, well, not really a journey, but the journey of the character in the book and how that came about, and tell us a little bit about the book and where people can get that. We'll do that in the second half of the show. Again, Connie Cooley is our guest today. This is The Forum. It's brought to you by Hayes Med. I'm Mike Kerner in for Gary Shorman this week.
Hayes Med is your first and best choice for healthcare. They're the only facility providing tertiary level services in this region. With more than 70 physicians and 26 specialties ranging from heart, orthopedic, spine care, cancer, obstetrics and gynecology, wound care, rehabilitation and surgery, including the Da Vinci robotic surgery, Hayes Med is your comprehensive health provider for people throughout Western Kansas. Hayes Med, helping people be healthy.
Eagle Communications is your ultimate business partner. We provide business class phone with customizable features and fast, reliable internet. Your knowledgeable team at Technology Solutions has a broad base of IT services to meet your needs. Let the experts at Marketing Solutions get your message to the right people on the best platforms. The only piece missing is your business. Call Eagle Communications today at 877-61-EAGLE.
Hi everyone, this is Gerard Welbrock inviting you to join us for Tiger Talk. We record it over the noon hours Mondays at Old Chicago, north of the interstate in Hayes, and play back at 6 o'clock Monday nights on Tiger Radio Mix 103. You can also catch it on Eagle TV's channel 14 and 614, Tuesday and Wednesdays at 10 a.m. and 7 p.m., and always on HayesPost.com. So join us for Tiger Talk over the noon hour Mondays at Old Chicago.
Welcome back to the Forum. I'm Mike Kerner in for Gary Shorman this week. The Forum brought to you by Hayes Med. Our guest this week, Connie Cooley, a local author here in Hayes. We want to talk to her a little bit about her book. The title is, you can go ahead and give the title.
Unlikely Love.
Unlikely Love, the title. Did it take a while to come up with the title, or did you start with the title and then expand from there?
No, I came up with the title about halfway through.
Okay.
And
So
my sister was very helpful in that area. Her and I were already working on the editing process, and she said, "What about this?" And I said, "That's it."
You know, you talked about your sister in the first part of the show.
Yeah.
Did you have to call her every once in a while when you got stuck somewhere and say, help me out a little bit?
Not in the writing, but we were on the phone a lot during the editing process because she's in Massachusetts, and so it was all done by email and over the phone.
So she helped you in the editing and kind of worked your way and
Yeah.
weaving in and out of stuff.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the inspiration for the book. You touched on it a little bit at the beginning, but is there a certain character or somebody that inspired you, and how did you come up with the character's name?
The character's name is basically, it's Haley, and it was as close as I could come to Harley without actually calling her Harley, because Harley Davidson motorcycles play an important role in the book. And that was kind of what was going on with her mom and dad when she got her start. So that's where the name of that character came from. And then, like I said, it kind of started to write itself. I just kind of knew intuitively what all of the other characters' names were supposed to be, and it all just started to just kind of fall into place. It's pretty uncanny.
Well, let's talk about the book a little bit in detail, but we don't want to give any secrets away. We want people to go out and buy the book, but tell us a little bit more about the book, and what's this character go through? Yeah,
she has become very bitter toward others, and especially toward God. She's lost her grandparents early in life to a tragic accident. She's very mistreated by who she thinks is her father. Turns out not to really be her father later on in the book. And she's just very hurt. And it's a story about her journey from all of that trauma to triumph at the end of the book through her personal choice to forgive those who have abused her and to turn her life back to God, who is waiting there to help her.
Is that the end of the book? You kind of given a lot away there?
No, there's an awful lot to it.
A lot of surprises in the book
Yes.
too. So when you put the book together, you've got it done, you've got it to the publisher, and then how long did it take before you saw it in the bound version?
Probably about 4 months.
Oh wow, that's a long time.
Yeah.
And then when you did you try to share with all your friends?
Well, yeah, you know, I have about 6 boxes of softcover books sitting in my living room right now.
Really?
And you know, I'm willing to sell those to anyone who'd like to have one.
Well, when you saw the book for the first time, I mean, when you knew it was coming, did you check the UPS driver or the mailbox every day?
Yes, I most certainly did.
And then when it came, you were all excited about it and told
Yes,
everybody
there were
about
4
it.
big boxes sitting on my porch. I'm like, oh dear, what have I gotten myself into?
Did you try to reread it and make sure it was all correct?
I did. My sister actually did reread it, and she found a couple of things that she wished we would have noticed the first time through, but you know, we did pretty good.
So the book is available how?
It can either be had on Amazon.com, or you can go directly to my website, www.unlikelylove.com. I hope that may be up on the screen for you there. And learn a little more about me and read an excerpt from the book. And then there will be a contact information there. You can decide how you'd like to contact me, either through Facebook or email. And I'd be most happy to talk to you or tell you more about the book or help you get a copy.
Yeah, I didn't want to get into too detail because I want people to be surprised with all the things that happen in the book.
Yeah, it's quite detailed. It's 30 chapters. So
30 chapters.
There's plenty to it.
That's a lot. That'll keep you going for a while.
It's a little bit thick.
Now, you say Amazon, it's available on Amazon. Does
Yes.
that mean it's in digital format as well?
Yes, it can be had either hardcover, softcover, or ebook.
Okay, very good. So look for that on Amazon, Unlikely Love, or go unlikelylove.com?
Yes.
Very good. Well, thanks for coming in and talking to us
Thank
today.
you so much.
And sharing your, I guess, your big, long journey.
Yeah.
It was a long journey. Connie Cooley, a local author, want to thank her for being our guest today on the forum. I'm Mike Kerner, and for Gary Shorman this week. If you've got questions or comments, even show ideas, Gary would like to hear from you. That's gary.shorman@eaglecom.net. Again, this is the forum. Thanks for joining us.